very dear to us. It's why we believe that Australians should keep more of what they earn. It's why we believe that those who have come from so many different parts of the world to this country to create this country and demonstrated that by their very actions. They've sought that fair go in this country, as we all have whenever we got here, 10 generations ago or 10 minutes ago. We've come to have a go and we'll get a fair go. That regardless of our ability or circumstances, we're here to make a contribution rather than take one. That in order for you to do better, you don't think someone else has to do worse. This is important values and principles that we believe deeply, that our party believes, that our government believes and will drive us. We believe that the best form of welfare is a job. That's what releases people out of poverty. That's what releases people out of hardship. The dignity of work, the ability to go and have choices as a result of the efforts you make, regardless of your level of ability. It's one of the reasons I've always been a big fan of the National Disability Insurance Scheme, and why I've also always been so keen to ensure it's funded. Because I know that scheme releases people with disabilities to be able to do what they want to do, and that is to make a contribution and to be able to take themselves forward and their families. That everyone has to play by the rules in this country. Everyone. Whether you're a big business, setting electricity prices, or loaning money, or you're just someone parking in the street. We've all got to live by the rules of this country, the law of our land. These are values we uphold, and it's important that we do that right across our areas of policy. And that we believe that we should decide our own future as individuals, as families, as communities, and of course as a nation. We all want to be able to make our own choices in life. Whether it's about who comes to our country, as John Howard famously said, or what school you want your kids to go to, or what team they want to follow. I suggest the Sharks, but that is not going to be a matter of national policy, I assure you.
For Victorians.
Particularly for Victorians. We believe in choice. And because of that means we can believe in our future. We're an optimistic, we're a passionate, and we are an ambitious people, full of aspiration for ourselves, for our families, and of course for our great nation, for all of us. That's what we believe as Liberals. Our plan, my plan for this country, is for an even stronger Australia. To keep our economy strong, to guarantee the essentials that Australians rely on. To keep Australians safe from terrorism and all the way to bullying in our schools. To keep our country together. To not pit one group of Australians against another. To ensure that one can succeed and all can succeed. That one doesn't have to fail for another one to succeed. We have a lot of challenges as a country, and we will get through them as we always have, together. Now, our job, particularly for Josh and I, as we take forward this new mantle of leadership as a new generation, is to ensure that we not only bring our party back together, which has been bruised and battered this week, but that will enable us to ensure we bring the Parliament back together, that we can continue to work to ensure that our country stays close together. We're a resilient bunch, Australians. I mean, the fact that we have had the longest running economic success of any nation in the world today is a tribute to the resilience of the Australian people. And they need that continued leadership to take them forward, not just on the economy, but of every aspect of Australian life that we feel so proud to be a part of, and that Josh and I feel so proud to lead. So, in making those statements about the direction, let me also tell you my immediate priorities. In addition to, of course, our economic and national security, is the drought. I've already discussed this, as Josh has said, with the Leader of the National Party. This is our most urgent and pressing need right now. And I'll be meeting with Major General Day as soon as possible to review our drought response plans and to hear from him, and working with the Nationals and our regional and rural Liberal members to ensure that we do what's necessary to help our regional communities, our farmers and all those affected. We will do what is necessary and coordinate with the states and territories. That will be my first focus, but there are many others, and I can take questions on that. Before I throw to Josh, let me say a few words about today also. I want to start by thanking, and he still is, the Prime Minister, Malcolm Turnbull. I've known Malcolm for a long time, as you know. He has been a dear friend. He has served his country in a noble and professional way. Josh and I have watched and worked with him as he has led our cabinet and the achievements we've been proud to serve with him as a government. Whether it's in the economy, whether it's in all the other areas that Malcolm has outlined today at his earlier press conference, he's a great Australian who's contributed a great deal to this country, and our party and our nation will be very grateful for his contribution. Also, I want to thank Julie Bishop, and I'm sure Josh will remark as well. She's been a rock star for the Liberal Party as a foreign minister and for Twitter and Facebook. She has been an amazing contributor and driver of foreign policy and an advocate for Liberal values from one end of this country to the other and one end of this world to the other. And we thank her for her service, and I'll be talking to her obviously about what role she would like to play in the government that we will now seek to put together. I also want to thank Peter Dutton for the service that he has provided. I actually recommended him for the job as Minister for Immigration and Border Protection after I left it some years ago, and he has served faithfully in that role and Home Affairs, and I look forward, if he so chooses, for him to be playing a role in the government which I intend to lead. Finally, though, I want to thank Josh. I've worked with Josh for many years. We didn't run as a ticket today. That's not how it should be, in our view. We knew that each of us needed to seek a mandate in our own right to heal our party, to bring our nation together and go forward. And so he sought his, and I sought mine. Just turns out he voted for me and I voted for him. But that was an expression, I think, of a natural relationship between the two of us. We've got a lot of work to do. Wasn't planning to take too many questions today. We will deal with other policy matters and other issues, and of course I'm got further work to do with the National Party today before heading out to Yarralumla later this evening, and we'll be dealing with that then. I look forward to working with Michael McCormack and his entire team. Michael and I have known each other for a long time, and I look forward to a very productive relationship with the Nationals. And on that, I'll hand you over to Josh.
Well, thanks very much, Prime Minister-elect. Firstly, a big thank you to Malcolm Turnbull and Julie Bishop for their outstanding contribution to the nation and to the party. It's been a tough few days, but their contribution will stand them in good stead and will be remembered fondly for years to come. The last week has been about us, and from here on, it's about the Australian people. I've been privileged to work with people from all walks of life, from Devonport to Townsville, from Perth to Parramatta. And what they expect from their government is to hear their concerns and to deliver for them jobs, reduced cost of living and economic and national security. So my message to the Australian people today is that we are here to serve you, and that every waking hour of the Morrison government will be spent delivering for the people of Australia.
Mr Morrison, yes. Hey, Mr Morrison, there's a lot of people out there are anxious about what's going to happen with the government. I know you haven't got details straight away, but do you envisage a major shift in any policy direction, economically or otherwise, on immigration? And are you prepared to keep key Conservatives in your cabinet as a healing gesture?
Well, I'll be considering the formation of the ministry and the cabinet, of course, over the course of the weekend, and I'll have more to say about that. It is important, as both Josh and I remarked in the party room today, referring to both the Conservative and Liberal traditions of the Liberal Party, that is reflected in the team which I bring together. It's also important that we provide the stability of government, which we will be able to do. I think today what the party voted for was that stable choice moving to a new generation, and that means that we'll have a continuity, but there will be points of emphasis and direction that we'll be consulting with our cabinet on. I will run a cabinet government as like my predecessor, and I've been part of cabinet governments, and we will consult with our colleagues. We will listen to our colleagues on the backbench, on the outer ministry, those who work in the assistant ministry, and we have to work it as a team. Today, our team needs to look after the events of this week and how that's impacted on them. And they've gone back to their electorates, they've gone back to their families, and they're going to listen, and they're going to bring things back to us. And where there needs to be changes, they will be made. And where there needs to be continuity, then that will be maintained.
How are you going to handle the Wentworth by-election? Are you disappointed that Malcolm Turnbull's going to be depriving you of a governing majority? And are you planning on heading to an election now, or will it still be towards May next year?
Once the government, and particularly Josh and I have been sworn into our respective roles, we anticipate later this evening, then we will go through the normal process of government. We intend to be governing. And we've got a lot to do as a fresh new team. So I don't think anybody should be making any plans for any elections anytime soon. The Prime Minister, as he currently is, has indicated to me at some time he would be moving away from politics, and I understand and I respect that, and I understand it fully. But those arrangements as yet have not been activated, and so I'm not making any assumptions on that point. I wish Malcolm and his family well. They will spend some time together in each other's arms, as they always are, and we will deal with those matters. But I look forward to my first electoral test as a government. I look forward to it. I relish it, and I know the beaches of Bronte pretty well, having grown up on them as a kid and played footy on the local fields, and I look forward to going back there and probably get to pop in and see Mum and Dad while I'm over there. Yeah.
Treasurer, is the National Energy Guarantee, and perhaps Josh might care to answer this, still the government policy? Is it one of the areas you'll be looking at changing? And if this is the end of the Turnbull-Abbott era, is there any prospect of Tony Abbott joining your ministry?
Look, all of these are going to matters of detail at this stage, Dennis, that I'm not going to go into, other than to say our government is going to put electricity prices down. We will put in place what we have said from the ACCC report, which is to provide the safety net on price. We will put the big stick to ensure that the big energy companies do the right thing by you, the customers, and we will ensure that we are backing in investment in new energy generation capacity. That's what we will be doing. Specific matters of policy and any changes in that area, I will consult with my new cabinet.
Mr. Morrison, in your own words, why did your party remove a sitting Prime Minister today? I think the Australian public would love to know, in your own words, why your party removed a sitting Prime Minister.
Well, you're looking at two people who did not do that today and who were very loyal and committed to the government that we were privileged to form part of, as we had been previously under the former government. And we will provide the stability and the unity and the direction and the purpose that the Australian people expect of us as leaders, both of our party and as of our great nation.
Mr. Morrison, what are your other policy priorities apart from drought?
Well, drought is the first thing I think I need to turn the attention to, but issues such as electricity prices, I mean, there is the continuation of consideration of that area. In healthcare, I am distressed by the challenge of chronic illness in this country and those who suffer from it. Affordable medicines, aged care, Medicare, small and medium-sized businesses, and to ensure that we're continuing to deliver the encouragement and support to that enterprise ethic that exists across our economy. There's some key early priorities, but it really does come back to those three things. Keeping our economy strong, keeping Australians safe and keeping Australians together. Okay, last question.
Education funding for non-government schools?
Well, there are some outstanding issues from the previous government that we will continue to resolve and work through. And on that note, I think it's other things we've got to get to. We're forming a government. The work of government continues. I want to assure all Australians that those normal wheels are turning. We'll be swearing in the new government next week in terms of the ministry. And as I said, Josh and I in our respective roles. As the Treasurer, I wish him well with that task. It's a tough one, mate, I can assure you.
Big shoes to fill.
And I know you'll do a great job in it, and I look forward to working with you all in the future. Thank you all very much.